Right, time to go, folks. Ready to leave Hillmorton. What time is it? It is 10:42. Perhaps a bit later than we'd like, but it's still not bad. So I'll just leave a little loop around there. I'll go and do the front. You can follow me, because you're clever. Kev, what I'll do, the first spot I go past, I'll leave for you. Let's do this, man. Kevin is in front of me, just leaving Hillmorton Locks. Lovely location. A few bits of debris in the canal, strangely, for a rural place, but anyway, you know. Boaters can't be choosers and all that. Yeah, as I say, if I see one, I'll give you a quick tinkle and let you know, and you can just decide. We're going to have to sort of play it by ear, really, but I'll try and leave the first one for you. That's a nice little GRP, I must say. Really clean and tidy and everything, you know. Sometimes, and I don't mean this as a slur on the guys who own them, but sometimes you see a couple that are a bit sort of tatty looking. Is this boat moving? Oh shit, there's a boat coming. I don't know if I'm going to get there first or what. Who's first? I feel like I might be first, I don't know. I don't know, guys. First bridge hole and there's a boat. I wasn't quite sure how far away. I thought it's 50. It was a difficult one, that one, so thanks for your patience. Cheers. Yeah, he's waiting, isn't he? He's going to wait. Have a nice day, guys. So I actually signalled Kevin to come through after me, and he's paused. But he's a real sort of he's a softy, Kev, you know what I mean, in a nice way. He really is. He doesn't mind hanging fire, letting boats go through. So even though I sort of waved him, he's pulled over. He's hovering, and they're going to go through. I don't know. I feel like they might have been a fractionally closer, but it genuinely was a tough one to tell. And I think they felt the same way. And I could sense, I think, speed and distance are so hard when you just literally head on. All you can see is the front of the boat. But I had a sense they were slowing down, so I thought I'll chance my arm and just go through. And yeah, sure enough, they were waiting for me. It's nice to get sort of well-mannered, reasonable boaters, you know. I lost a glove. Fleece gloves. They're the most convenient, the lightest. They're the ones to go cycling in, you know. They're just the best. I've also got mittens, but these are the battery powered gloves. So today it's we're on battery power for gloves. So that little bit of gentle heat, a bit too gentle if I'm being honest, you know. The old ones were a bit more savage, but it was brilliant. If your hands were cold, you know, really icy cold, handling cold steel, wet rope, they were just brilliant to stick your fingers in. It's like instant comfort and relief from the stinging cold. Brilliant. So there's Kev behind me. We've got about, I feel like we've got about a 3-hour cruise. Kevin's not a fast driver anyway, so I'll keep an eye on him. I don't want to pull ahead, but he's at a nice distance. But I'm just paying attention ahead because there's bushes sticking out, obscuring my view. A lot of my view of what lies around the corner. I got the impression Kevin didn't fancy going first today. From a point of view of a relaxed cruise, you're better going second, because the guy in front, is the one who meets all the boats at the bridge holes, and you know, he has all the stress really. You have time to react. If you stay 300 yards back, you have time to slow down, react, you know, whatever you need to do. So it's pretty good. But I got the impression he wasn't that keen. And then I realised my front camera, I don't want to be seeing his boat all the way down. Well, not that I mind seeing his boat. It's a perfectly nice boat. But I felt like the view, anyway, who knows, you know, cinematically the view might be better if it's just the landscape ahead rather than the boat constantly there. Would you be bothered? Would I be bothered looking back at it in future years? Probably not. But anyway, we are where we are. And I am on point, as they say. I am on point, which of course, as we know from watching Vietnam War movies, is the riskiest place to be. A guy who was walked past on the towpath, a fellow Liverpudlian, mentioned to me he'd moved down here a couple of years ago, and he mentioned a bit of modern, very new housing development, which is going to turn into a small town on south of Rugby. Forgotten the name now, perhaps I'll put it on screen. I mean, nobody's going to be interested in housing developments. I don't want this to turn back into the estate agent's show, you know. I'm just going under a massive bridge arch. There's a boat ahead and a bend, so I'm going to have to pay attention, but I'll try and get what I can. Huge arch. Right, we've got some boats 3 abreast here, so the channel's narrowing. I've got to pay attention in case Sod's Law comes into play. I'm going to get a little bit more revs on. I think I'm clear, yeah. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the microphone. I put this little microphone here. Anyway, who's interested? To pick, well, I'm going to tell you. I always do that, don't I? Oh, you won't be interested, and then I tell you. So I've got this recorder which sits in my pocket with a little mini microphone, a lapel mic. So I've got like a backup sound track if the camera loses me, and I say something interesting, which admittedly doesn't seem the most likely thing, judging by the morning so far. But you never know. If it does ever happen, I'll be ready. The audio will be captured. Yeah, I'll tell you, I've done a good job, and it's a good brew. I should give 2 separate marks. I'm going to revise the coffee. The coffee reviews have got to change. It's not fair. Sometimes I'll say 5 out of 10 or something, and it's the brew. Sometimes it's the actual coffee. Sometimes the 5 out of 10 is because I've made it rubbish. So let's be fair to the coffee manufacturers, because they'll be very concerned, you know, about getting bad reviews from me. Hopefully we'll have no drama here, and they'll be happy with the room. Oh, right, okay. So what I've just done, I've just hit the side. That's shallower than I thought it was. There we go. Cheers, mate. The trads generally are deep drafted, so you've got to give them a little bit more. I think oh, she's heading for Kevin. Then we got a bit of boat drama, look. Kevin's coming through, but she wasn't slowing down. Now they're going to pass in the tunnel, the bridge itself, the bridge hole. He's going right in. She's come over to avoid the branches on her side, but she's forced him into the shallows. I'll be interested to find out if she said anything to him on the approach, because she seemed to me like she was picking up speed on the approach, trying to get through and you know, there was a gap, so Kevin was coming through. I think quite rightly. So we'll find out. We're not going to have too many encounters today. It's one of the busiest stretches of canal in the country, certainly. But it is the end of December, so we're not going to see a lot of boat traffic. There'll be the odd one, usually at a bridge hole. You can count on that. Sod's Law being what it is. So yeah, the town is finished now. We are genuinely out into the rural part of this region. 1100 RPM. I don't know what speed I'm doing. I'm not doing much. I'm probably doing about 2. Looking at the bank, my guess would be 2. So maybe I could go a bit faster. It's one of those things. Okay, let's do 12. 11 sounded so gentle and, you know, easy going. 12 sounds a bit more frenetic. And here's another boat. Oh, we are going to see some boat traffic today. Got his Christmas hat on as well. Let's hope he's as cheerful when we pass. Morning. Yeah, he didn't really get out of the way at all, did he? I was over in the shallows and he didn't move out of the way at all. I wonder if he'll try. Let's see if he tries the same thing with Kevin. Kevin's further away from the bank than I was, I think. Yeah. Kevin's stout. Shit. I'm heading for the bank. Well, I'm watching for potential drama. Yeah, Kevin's further out than I was, see? Kevin's holding a further out position. I was about a foot closer in. So the guys had to move. But he's giving Kevin loads of space. So, to be fair, he would have moved. If I'd have claimed more space, he would have moved out the way. So I can't slag him off, you know. The time you know you've got a problem is when you claim some space and the boat's still coming straight at you, you know. Very rarely happens, to be fair. You do get the odd one, the odd memorable exception, where they seem like they're not going to give you any ground. It's very strange, but thankfully rare. Most boaters are pretty decent about it, really. All you can see is a hedge, obviously. But behind that, there is at least a mile. I think I can see one cottage, but it's mostly just open farmland. And on the other side, where the sun's struggling to come through the clouds, again, at least 2 miles of completely open farmland over there. Hopefully the boat ahead is moving away. I'm going to have to slow down as well for the moored boats. Hopefully that boat is moving away. Because if he's moving towards me, it's one of my least favourite situations. Worse even than a bridge hole where you head on, you know. Is trying to pass where you've got moored boats on one side, a shallow bank on this side, and just about room to pass. Because both of you want to take as much space as you can. The guys don't want to get too close to the boats and you don't want to get too close to the bank. I think he's moving away though, so we're okay. Beautiful little lurcher style dog there. Reminds me of dear old Murphy. Dear Murphy. I miss him so. I'm of course referring to Diane's dog, not a chap. Not a human chap anyway. Such a softie, oh my god, just a lovely temperament on him, absolutely, so good natured. Oh guys, look at this, a proper vintage car. You just so rarely see these, or at least ones that look authentic. That has to be authentic. Look at that. An actual vintage. That could be, that looks like it could be from the 1920s, and it does look authentic. Amazing thing to have in your garden. You would imagine it would be worth a fortune. And it's just sat there in the... Because these narrowboats, these are gardens for the boaters. So they've got sheds, they've got buildings, you know, storage space, loads of storage space, which is the thing, you know, that's the pain in the arse really on a boat. You've got 2 storage, little Wendy house type things. You've got a caravan. I mean, what's not to like? The boat ahead of us must be the boat that set off 20 minutes ago. And he sort of checked. And he said, oh, we're just getting ready, you know, we're getting ready. And I said, we'll be about 50 minutes. And he was, I could see him stopping and thinking, like, do I want to leave right now? Because this guy, meaning me, will be hot on my tail. And I sort of reassured him and said, it's okay, mate, you know, we're not, A, we're going to be another 15 minutes, and B, you know, we're going slow anyway, we're not going to be chasing you down. And that must be him up ahead, about 5 minutes ahead. Or he could have just, it's not that guy, and someone's just set off from one of these moorings, you know, who knows? So I didn't think about that, did I? Oh, hello. Didn't even know that was there. I know I did know. Once again, I did know. I did see a marina on the map. For people who want to be on a boat, who like the idea of living on a boat, because some people would. You know, you've got running water here. You'll have waste disposal handy, bins, you know, nice little motorhome you can use, swapping your travelling between a motorhome and a boat. In many ways, I think it would be ideal. Well, here's the place. Very few people moving about in there. Oh, Barbie Moorings, I've heard of this place, yeah. It's been mentioned on that discussion forum I read. Barbie Moorings. They'll sell coal in there, I think. Probably sell diesel actually as well. Don't know what it's like. I haven't heard anything about it being good, bad or whatever. But I've definitely heard of it. Morning. Not... yeah. It was the previous owner's wife was a musician. I'm not a fan of jazz. Yeah, well, once you've seen the real thing. Yeah. Anyway, take care. Well, it's a lovely winter cruise. We've had 2 slightly sort of stressful situations near the bridge holes there, but only slightly, you know. If this was summer, we would have had at least 10 more, I think, probably. This is a busy stretch of canal in summer. So this is winter cruising for you. It's not too bad, it's above 0. The ground's not frozen. Sometimes the towpath is better when it's a bit frozen because the mud solidifies a bit, but it's not frozen. The temperature's tolerable. It's cool. Well, it's chilly, but it's tolerable. Shirt and fleece. It's just nice, you know, and it's peaceful. So it's going to be a narrow section for us to pass in. Narrower than I would like. Yeah. Is he letting me go through? This is one of those. I feel like it's a 50-50. I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, I just can't tell. Well, I feel like we're almost equally distant from it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hover. I'm gonna let him come through. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. There we go. Get some speed on now. The noises I make are, oh, ah, oh, ah. Sounds like something unmentionable's going on. Oh my God, an actual cow is coming up to drink. Hello there. Is it a bull? No, it's a cow. Such an idiot. Hello. You don't look that pleased to see me, dear. Well, I can't say I blame you, but I think the cow is that, yeah, the cow's thinking about coming down for a drink in the canal. Isn't it sod's law, right? The minute I decide I need to stop, all the normal Armco runs out and I've got this stuff. Sod's law. Sod's law. Absolute sod's law. Here we go. Okay. Right. Oh God. Let's hope that's full of mad. Oh no, I can't get it in. Can I? Yeah. There we go. Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah, this one. Sorry mate, what? Right, I'll turn that off. Yeah. So back on the move again. 1000 RPM. Let's try 1100. Seem to get a decent speed out of 1100. Maybe 1100's the new 12. Double check where we are. I feel like we've got 2 miles, so less than an hour to go, which is great. And we'll be at our destination. Well, no, 3 miles. But still. Cheers. Now that lady knew what she was doing. That is a good driver. She got round that corner flawlessly. Never came close to me, never looked like she was pinching space. Absolutely flawless driving. This is a big trad coming up now. God, we are seeing such an amount of traffic, it's crazy. It's like it's summer. The fires going 10 to the dozen. There we go. Cheers guys, thank you. I will say, a lot of traffic, but some good drivers. Like, no, they're not, very few are hogging the centre. They're all giving plenty of space. Can't fault them really. Now where's Kevin gone? I'm going to just show you this. These do sell coal, but I've got 5 bags now, so I don't need it. I sort of picked some up. I was going to stop here, but the fuel boat came past at Rugby whilst I was still there. Day before I left, he came past. He was in poor shape as well, some kind of infection. I didn't dare go near him, but this looks nice. I must say, this does look nice. What towns are close by though? Like, it's one of the, look, it looks lovely, guys. Doesn't that look beautiful? It's open, so it's going to be as windy as hell. In the winter, it's going to be blowing around. It's got no tree cover to moderate the wind. But what a lovely place. I mean, that is really nice. But that was lovely. That's a place I'd consider staying, but you have to have a car, because Rugby is 4 miles that way. And in the depths of winter, when you need some shopping and it's either pouring down with rain or it's icy, you could go on an e-bike. I mean, I've done 7 miles and back to the supermarket on my e-bike, so yeah, you can do it. But that was in the summer. I never fancy doing like 7 miles in the winter on the e-bike. I don't, it's not something I really like the idea of. I really don't. You could get around, you could manage without a car, you could, but it wouldn't be so easy. Lovely countryside though. Do you know, the towpath's not bad either. Even though it's been rainy last week or so, and it's damp and constantly damp, and you know, if we've got 2 miles left, we've still got potentially about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So we're going to arrive about 1 p.m. But that should be okay. We should be okay. Very busy place. The thing is about Braunston, it's so busy. The boaters come from all over the country. I mean, I am hearing more southern accents recently, but I have heard like Lancashire, Midlands, you know, so it's fairly eclectic, I think is the word. You will hear more Liverpudlian accents, let's say, in the northwest, I think. But I did hear one at Braunston years ago. I remember being struck by how unusual, how incongruous it was to hear sort of a broad Scouse accent down in Braunston, you know, on a narrowboat. I was like, oh, I didn't think Liverpudlians did this sort of thing. Or some do. Anyway, you know, I am wondering what I'll make of the people, of the boaters. The boating, people say the boating community. It isn't a community, it's not as integrated. It's not a thing. It's a collection of individuals, really. There are some common behaviours, and most boaters are very decent people, to be honest. That is the really nice thing. Got to say that. That is the nice thing about boating that I have noticed, like the people. It's one of the things I think I'd miss if I started travelling around in a motorhome, because I want to do some European travel and stuff. I would miss that, you know, can-do kind of thing, that helpful attitude that you so often see. Certainly up in the northwest, and I'm sure it'll be the same down here. Yeah, I'll miss it. I really will, genuinely. It's there's something about being on a boat that makes you aware that, you know, you're never too far away from a potential disaster in terms of a systems failure. You've got no power, you've got no electricity, I don't know, you've got no heat because there's a problem with the stove. And boaters are aware of that, I think. They're aware of sort of, there's a bit of fragility and some sort of malfunction and problem. It's never really that far away. And you have to sort of try and adapt and find workarounds if you can. Some you just can't, you know. Just hope just hope we get a spot at Braunston. It's going to be a pain in the arse if we don't. I don't know what we'll do. Yeah, there's hills and ridges in the distance I'm seeing. It's taken on the landscape is taking on a bit of a different character to where we've been, it feels to me. Yeah, this is the kind of landscape that I imagined Braunston would look like, these low rolling hills. Afternoon. Oh yes, of course, yeah. You're stopping for the day, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a lovely quiet spot, yeah.
It's lovely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, have a nice evening. I'm hoping we've got a chance to moor after Bridge 87, and I think I'll get the binoculars out. So this is Bridge 87, somewhere between this bridge and the next one. 2/3 of a mile stretch maybe, that's where we're going to have to moor. We're not going to probably be able to go any further. If we take a chance and go further, there's a good chance, there's a high possibility we'll not get anywhere. We'll have to go sail all the way through, possibly even do the locks. So this is now, we're in mooring mode. So I'm going to go slowly because I feel like I'm going to have to react before Bridge 88. That's our sort, we've decided that's our point. We won't risk going any further than Bridge 88, but if we can, we'll get as close to it, you know, as we can. It's beautiful countryside, I've got to say. It's just lovely, these rolling, gently rolling low hills. Just gorgeous, look at it. I've used the word like quintessential English countryside so many times now when I've been cruising. But, I mean, it just is. Hi Kev.
Hello.
Hiya mate. So this is our final stretch then, yeah?
Yeah.
So, so far so good. I'm not seeing boats.
We're full over now. We can just break it down.
Okay mate, so what you're suggesting is the next straight bit we'll pull over. If it's starting to look like we're running out of options, let's pull in and yeah, do a recce on foot, and always move up later, can't we, if it looks good. So we've got, according to our sort of cunning plan, we've got about 0.4 of a mile of moorings left. I'm just putting these on because it's bloody, that wind is cutting through very sharply on the old fingers. So we're looking all clear. Yeah, still good. So we can creep closer. We can't be far from Bridge 88 now, right, okay. Right, Kevin wants to pull in and get moored here, and I think maybe do a recce on foot and move up later. Kev, tell you what, let's check. I was looking for Armco. There's a boat up ahead, but I don't know. I don't think it's Armco. As I'm going back, I'm reversing now, back in closer to Kevin, and then I'm going to pull in. You just pick your spot. I'll pull in front. Get in, you bugger. That's it. Right. Okay, so I've got to bring the boat to a halt and manage it while this boat goes past. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get past this patch of mud so I've got solid footing. Here we go. Got some stone here. Boat's in. Once he's passed, I'll tow back to Kevin. Where's that hold firm? These guys are shifting. So what we're going to do, we're going to stop here on the basis that, as I said, this could be the last bit of Armco before Braunston. Kevin is probably going to go ahead on foot and check what there is, because we're here for a couple of days. We're not going to rush. Right, not going to try and exert any great force on the boat because I nearly slipped on my arse a few minutes ago when I was trying to stop it.